Good day and welcome, my name is Drake598 Shadow and I'm here today to give you a tutorial on Chapter 8 of Space Hulk Deathwing. As you can see, I'm using an Assault class for the first part of this mission just because there will be a few Broodlords and Ciphers to take care of, and we are playing on the hardest difficulty.
It was impossible to remove the traces of our gene seed from the bodies of the aliens, so Grandmaster Belial vowed to destroy everything instead. To do so, we had to slow the oncoming tide of Xenos, far too many for even the Deathwing to hold back, with physical weapons. A mutagenic virus unleashed by the Techmarines slowed their assaults, while machine spirit-guided cats scoured the Space Hulk for more evidence of the gene seed. A modified cat was deployed to recover vital gene data, but the situation in the Space Hulk, and especially around Caliban's will, was increasingly desperate. The longer we remained, the closer the Tyranid hive ships approached.
So Chapter 8 is probably takes the longest out of all the chapters just because you have to escort the cap around, and it can be a little bit problematic.
The viral attack has been successful, but we are still not yet victorious. The Gene Stealer offensive has been devastated by the virus, but not halted. I have devised a plan to overload the reactors and destroy the Elethros. But we have a final opportunity to retrieve vital gene seed and samples before the conflagration consumes everything. A modified cat has been deployed to recover lost gene data and a sample of the Dark Angel's gene seed. Brother, I need you to retrieve the cat before we can begin with the complete destruction of the Elethros.
Although this chapter is a map that is the same as one of the previous chapters, the route is very different.
Sensorium returns indicate an impressive number of gene stealers. Hold the Caliban's will,
as you will require the cat to open up a lot of these areas. All the relics are in the same location, however. There is one that has moved, but the cat does take you directly past it. This first turret here you do not really need to worry about, it is inactive, so we're just going to push forward and lock the door behind us. Watching the front there, being aware that there is a spawn point to your left hand side as you go through here, so you do want to try to be quick and push to the front of the room as much as possible. It will limit the amount of Xenos that spawn behind you. And on the left hand side here there is going to be a relic to collect, which is the first one at the map. And we're just going to push further up this room here. And there's that shooter taken care of. Once you get to about halfway on the calculations, you will start to have Broodlords and Ciphers spawning on you. Depending on your squad size and composition, depends on how many you might get. So yeah, you just want to be aware of that and watch for when they might spawn up, like so, as you just saw him pop out of the ground. So around now we might get another Cypher spawn up. As I said, it normally happens around the start of the calculations, and the Broodlord is normally towards the end. There's that Cypher that I was talking about. take him down as quickly as possible, like always. Calculation runs down. Just trying to stay back a little bit, avoid that shooter on my right hand side. And there's another cipher. I need healing quickly, please. My sword is out. As you can see, these waves can be a little bit problematic with the sheer numbers. And there is a fourth cipher, I think that was. Can you please take out the shooter on the right hand side down the passage that keeps shooting me? We should be okay at that point with the calculations running down, as the pillar has now dropped. So what we might do is see if we can spot this little shooter that kept shooting us. And just destroy him.
Withdraw. Recover the cat for extraction.
So we will now swap
The
classes.
Gene Stealers are beyond
just
counting,
for the ease of
and
the
cannot be
rest of this
slain
map.
by bolter and blade alone. You must execute an orderly retreat. But before leaving the Caliban's will, you must locate and retrieve the cat and the vital data it has gathered. Perhaps the secrets of the Legion gene seed hold the means to avoid the catastrophe predicted by the librarians.
So now we are on our way to retrieve the cat. So busting through this first door, we'll have a couple of shooters. And you might potentially have some down there as well. I would not worry about that turret as it is not active. And as soon as you come up here, you are going to have more shooters and possibly psychers. So that is definitely something to sort of be aware of. Although in this case, we have not had them. But then it did give us a rather rough time at the start with all those ciphers and broodlords. So we'll unlock this and lock it behind us as we go through. Come through the door, please. Okay, so we want to go around the left here. As the right side is closed off. And then we're going to go around to the right and down below. We just proceed straight through this door. Be aware of the shooters on the other end. Use retribution. You're in a bad spot there. Follow me, please. From here, we will have a save point to take care of this. It really does want to give us a little bit of a rough time today. Do remember when fighting ciphers and broodlords to keep moving, as they have a psychic attack, as well as psychers do. But we'll just retrieve that relic while we have a few seconds. And proceed back out this door, take out this turret, because it will be active when we're retrieving the cat. And that brood board is probably still going to be around here somewhere. I do not think we have killed him. So we're going to go to the opposite side here and retrieve the other relic. Locking up this door, which is the only one you can really lock on this lot. And we'll bust open that door, collecting the relic, so we have a secure hot spot to retreat to after we retrieve the cat. We're just doing this sort of first to ensure that we have a little bit of safety from those brood lords and ciphers. So we're going to continue straight down here and just drop down as soon as he is out of the way. And we'll continue down to retrieve the cat. You can lock this door if you require extra time, but for this instance I think we're just going to close it because it'll take them time to open it again. Down there is psychers and shooters, possibly in this room as well, so do be aware of that. You never really know where they're going to spawn, but certain types tend to spawn in certain locations. So now we get the boring part of escorting the little cat around. The lead person would just sort of run up and pre-open the door because it does take a little bit of time. Okay, so that's a cipher. He'll be relatively easy to run around in this area. They're a lot slower than brood lords. So I'm going to take care of this for a second, and my friend's just going to escort that cat up to where it needs to be. As you can see, they're not particularly hard to deal with until they do their charge. We got a little bit lucky here, having the cipher spawn rather than a brood lord. But now that cat should be up to where he needs to be. I can now just retreat.
You have to stay in a close perimeter around the cat.
And we have that door open for a little fallback point. You can use retribution and stand in front if you would like. That will return all damage to him. Or not, he seems intent on me, so... You do want to be careful coming in and out of these rooms, as you are going to get a lot of units spawning on you during these calculations. A lot will be coming from up there and down there. Sorry, reload. Here we'll now run back down the centre, so that will buy us a few seconds. You basically just want to keep doing this till the calculations run down. Try not to let too many gunners get outside and on top of you. That's why I sort of keep ducking in and out as much as possible. As you can see, you can sort of control the Cypher or the Broodlord from that position just by ducking in and out of the chamber at appropriate times. Depending on your party composition, you can quite easily kill him there like that, even with a little bit less cheese in your gameplay. So we can just retreat through this door now, and you can feel free to lock it up. He's going to continue straight down here and then up to the left. As you can see through here, we're just trying to spread that damage as much as possible. Do you want to lock this door up? And continue on through. And he'll be going to the opposite end there. I do like to blow that barrel up first, as he can get stuck on it and go back the opposite way to his start point before retracing his steps. So the safe points in this area when he gets to the calculations is going to be just here and just in here. You want to try to avoid them getting line of sight on you as much as possible. And as you can see, calculations will start to run now, so we will have another wave of enemies. They are going to be coming from on up high, will mainly be shooters. Shooters down there, and ground units from mostly that way. But they will vary somewhat. during these periods of time, like as in all the previous chapters, you don't really want to get too far away from the objective, or the calculations will slow down. And there's those guys from up on high that I was talking about. And you can see I'm sort of using that cover. And that is the Psyker. There's actually 2 Psykers there, so you really want to focus fire on those. As always, because they are some of the hardest hitting enemies in this game. And there's another 2 Psykers. It might have just been 1, I am unsure on that. Not quite get there on time. I do apologise. You got hit by 2 psychic flashes. And there's me hit, so retreat to this little safe corner, as I said. And depending on your weapon, you can just do that. Any Psyker that is going to try to hit you from here is going to have to get line of sight first, so he will come into your firing line. And that door has just been open, but I think I'm just going to poke my head out. See that little flash? Hopefully I might have got him. Just pop another shot there just in case. Come around the corner and lock this up. Now this turret here will not be active, so you do not have to worry about it, as at no point do you retrace your steps on this map. But do be aware enemies will come up these side points here. In which case I have to actually collect my little cat. Now the turret down here will in fact be active, so you will need to kill this one. But so long as you're coming from this way, you should not really have too many problems. Some of these guys and come back and go bang, bang. So we'll get the cat to about the center point, and then you're going to want to run straight up through this door, as there will be a relic in this chamber. See the relic just here. It is the same as on the other map. Return to your little fellow, locking up this door behind you. Down here through the broken door. Yeah, this is the problem with the little cat. If you get too far away, he will stop moving. So we are going to come through here and lock this door. And we have a cipher that has just spawned up. It should be relatively easy to control. You just need to be aware of the shooters. Don't take him into that chamber if you can. If he's following you, have your friend go finish the cat while you take him around the corner. So that way, rather than being separated, we have points to fight from, as such. I am down, resurrect please. I am down, resurrect please. Cool. You sure yeah, that's the right skill. Very much. Do stay in the little hole, hidey hole. It will help keep you protected until my heals are up. This is the problem with this map. It is a lot of standing and waiting for this little cat. But otherwise it's relatively straightforward. There's not a lot to it. It is just the sheer difficulty of the number of enemies. Now there's that psyker. I'll have you back to full health in 4, 3, 2, 1. And then a psycho hit me. Those calculations are almost complete. So this is a little bit of a cheese way to do it, but it's also a safer way to do it, as you can see. And there's not much that you can do to improve the speed of this map. Watch out, fall back into your spot. Nope. Okay. You came out but just a little tad too early there. Because yeah, this cat is rather slow. Break down this wall, take out that psycho first thing, worry about the shooters second. And try not to lose the little cat. Continuing through off to the left. This is going to be one of the more problematic rooms. There will be quite a few shooters in here, so be aware of that. And at least one psyker. And we're just going to continue escorting the little AI unit. The first part of this mission can definitely earn you a lot of XP, but by the sheer time it takes, I don't really recommend it running running at 4 XP. And this is the relic that I was talking about that has moved from one of the other locations. And as you can see, the cat has taken us directly past it. So just through here is where we're going to be escorting the cat to. And we'll pop open that wall for him and send him on his merry little way. So that is that objective complete. You can feel free to come out and lock that door behind you if needed.
All squads, fall back to the missionary ship.
I'm just closing her up. And as you can see, we are pretty much done. We are just off to the extraction point now. This is probably going to be one of the hardest sections in the map. We're going to be running directly straight ahead, zigzagging as much as possible, and there will be some confined alleyways to go to. We'll try to maintain our stamina as much as possible. Be aware of shooters, as you can see just there. Psychers, broodlords, and so on. The standard fare at this sort of point in the campaigns. So you're going to want to run at that point. And try to zigzag him around there. Once you get to this chamber here, you are relatively safe. So continue up to your little exit point. I'm just going to hold here for a few seconds while I reload. There will probably be rocket launchers up the top, as well as guns. Yeah, there's the rocket launchers up there. So just keep moving. They're relatively inaccurate at range. And the calculations will run down. So long as we are in this blue section, as you can see. It will be a relatively quiet time. Only small creatures can get through there. The broodlords and ciphers cannot follow through those smaller tunnels, which is why I sort of said you want to be as speedy as possible. But for now, it is just a matter of counting down the seconds. And there you go. That is Chapter 8 complete. I have been Drake598 Shadow. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop it down in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Thank you for tuning in.